name is Carter and I am a member of Dumbledore's Pink Gaucho. As Virginia stated today, we are talking about conflict in groups and disagreements that might happen between individuals working in small group settings. Oftentimes, we find ourselves working with individuals who may either be extremely helpful or may drop the ball and need some assistance. It is important to keep in mind that if you feel that you have seen one of these difficult people, try being patient or forgiving. Remember to focus on people's strengths rather than their weaknesses. More often than not, communicating expectations for a group can alleviate stress and perhaps create some sort of structure for the group. According to our text, there are 10 most difficult people to work with in small groups. The first group we will touch on are conflict avoiders, also known as ostriches. Conflict avoiders have a fear of conflict and will do all that they can to avoid situations where conflict may arise. These individuals oftentimes will shut down when being faced with conflict. Conflict avoiders are different from harmonizers in that they lack the ability to create harmony within a group setting. Oftentimes, these ostriches unintentionally prevent group members from exploring ideas or different opinions. A helpful tip when trying to deal with these individuals is to educate conflict avoiders of the benefits of healthy conflict. Perhaps you can try to develop group guidelines and encourage different opinions, and discuss how those opinions can be handled. Next are the isolates, also known as absentees. These individuals separate themselves from the group and tune out a group discussion by solely focusing on entertaining themselves. Oftentimes, these absentees find ways to distract themselves with either a phone or an inanimate object, or even other assignments. Isolates ignore communication attempts with other group members, therefore isolating themselves. A tip in helping these individuals is trying to engage or involve the isolate group member by finding ways to bond or interact with them. Perhaps you can set group communication expectations or participation guidelines if the isolate becomes an absentee. Do not let the group fail to notify the absentee, saying that the group must continue without them. Next are the stagehogs, also known as monopolizers. These individuals are opposite of isolate. Stagehogs are exactly as they sound. They hog the stage. We relate stagehogs to monopolize due to the fact that they monopolize a group's time. A tip in trying to help is friendly reminders to the stagehog that other members would like to speak. Perhaps you can appoint a gatekeeper to keep the discussion on point and set time limits and group guidelines that indicate the amount of time for each topic. Another distracting member of the group could be diverters, also known as jokers. These individuals distract the group with off-topic discussions, for example, jokes, stories, or even comments not related to the topic at hand. Jokers can relieve tension in a small group. However, they continuously distract the group from completing tasks. A tip in trying to help a diverter is to use the appointed gatekeeper to set an agenda, including topics that need to be discussed. Maybe setting a schedule or a time devoted towards socializing and a time devoted towards work can help the diverters stay on task. Then we move to the fanatics, also known as evangelists. These individuals are very similar to stagehogs. They tend to monopolize the group's time with specific topics or personal concern of their own. While fanatics are passionate about their topics, this passion often redirects the group's focus and is not helpful in completing tasks. Tips on how to work with the fanatics is to acknowledge the importance of the fanatics topic and find the appropriate amount of time to talk about it. Remind the fanatics of the importance of other items on the agenda. Next on our list are slackers, also known as loafers. Slackers have a lack of participation in their individual assignments or in portions of the group work. Slackers tend to complete their part of the assignment poorly or insufficiently. Destructive slackers oftentimes sabotage or abandon the group when the assignment is due. Tips to help slackers: perhaps offer supportive advice or encouragement towards the group member, but do not do their work for them. Communicate clearly, set due dates, and design tasks so that each member can equally contribute to the assignment. Next is blockers, also known as cynics. Blockers prevent small groups from accomplishing tasks and goals as they disapprove of ideas or proposals and claim that proposed ideas might not be successful. Their attitude can be degrading and prevent motivation and decrease the task effectiveness of the group. When dealing with blockers, perhaps you can address any underlying problem or concern right away. Have a backup or an alternate idea ready for when ideas are rejected. But avoid sarcasm, pessimism, and cynicism. Bullies, also known as aggressives, are also individuals that are difficult to work with. Bullies use tactics to intimidate other members and oftentimes use aggressive verbal language or even aggressive nonverbal body language. These members will create an atmosphere of fear and prevent others from comfortably sharing ideas or thoughts. A tip in helping deal with bullies can refer to the 5 conflict of management strategies or suggest other conflict management strategies. It is important to remain calm and remind the bully that they will be held accountable for their actions. Next on our list is passive aggressives, also known as saboteurs. Passive aggressives might be difficult to identify and are oftentimes more dangerous than bullies or aggressives. These individuals are backstabbers and will deny that there is even a problem at hand. Tips in dealing with passive aggressives is to watch your back, but also to identify and label the resistance strategies that the passive aggressive group member may be using. Work together to try to correct any power imbalance. Last on our list are the dangerous people, also known as the most difficult people. These dangerous people may be mentally unstable, violent, or in worst cases, even criminal. Keep a close eye on dangerous behavior signs when interacting with strangers in a small group project. While it is uncommon to encounter a dangerous person, it is very important to stay vigilant and cautious of who you trust. Tips in dealing with dangerous people may be to utilize the forming parts of a group development process. Get to know each other by socializing, and if you were to meet in person, make sure it's a local public location and be cautious of any inappropriate behavior. I hope this was helpful in breaking down 10 difficult people you may encounter in a small group setting. Next, let us interact with Jen as she discusses the strategies to manage conflict. Thank you.